sithi refrigeration day. So lo msebenzi ke lesithi cooling summit uqhamuka ngemva kokuthi eminyakeni lophelile ku COP lesithi ngumhlangano lomkhulu wedinzabata ka climate change kwaba khona live tibophelelo letendako ukuthi titawuzama kunciphisa emazinga ekushisa nga 1.5 degrees. Letinye ke tetimvo letibanga ukuthi mhlambe kube nalamazinga ekushisa laphakamako ngiwo labo gesi labasebenta etinfeni lesisebenzisa kokubanzisa lokufaka ekhathi ema-fridge kanye nawo ema-air conditioners. Kunemi tibophelelo ke live lelahlanganisa nalo ekhuluma njengabo Montreal Protocol lapho khona kuthiwa emave akazame kusebenzisa bogesi labangeke baze balinukubede livadvasi lokuyi-ozone layer phindze futhi kube bogesi labangabangi kokuthi lamazinga ekushisa bese aphakama. Sihlangene ke namuhla ke sidodingisa dona tindzaba kokuthi silivela kangwane sithi ngesilumbi how can we cool without warming the planet. Lokusho ukuthi njengoba sibona tidzingo tekubanzisa ema-fridge nema-air conditioner setiningi kakhulu sitofundzisa sive kokuthi basathenga ke letimvo etihlukahlukene abaqinisekise ukuthi bathenga lokho lokusebenzisa amandla agesi kancane lesikhuluma ngabo energy efficiency phindze futhi kube ngiloko nasekulungiswa bomagesane bethu kube bantu labasebenzisa bogesi labanganukubedile lidwadvasi noma bagcine sebabange kona lokhu lamazinga ekushisa aphakama.
Ngibude nje ukuthi engabe vele kule ma topics la tobe adiscusswa kulelanga lanamuhla engabe ngiyiphi lo cabanga ukuthi ibaluleke kakhulu cishe ithinta noma iaffecta wonke umuntu.
Lokubaluleke kakhulu ngolokushintsha njengoba ngishida nje ukuthi sinesibophelelo kule Montreal Protocol ukuthi abantu labasebenta ngayo labo gesi labalungisa lama-fridge ukuthi lolu shintsho lubathi kabeta kanjani njengoba sathi sithala ukuthi esikhathini esiningi nasenta netinguquko letawusita imvelo abantu abaningi bayakhala ukuthi sekubamuca emathuba emsebenzi. Namhla ke sidabe sinebantu labakusebenzisako letimvo labatawuchaza ukuthi indlela tabo tekusebenta tishintshe kanjani mangabe kukhona lokuhle engabe kuyini. Sidabe futhi siphindze sibuke tona tindzaba temthetho wakangwane livela kangwane linema policies lelwendile lafaka ekhathi tona tindzaba ukuthi nasebenzisa emandla agesi aswasebenzise ngendlela leyo ngako. Sidabe sibuka ke ukuthi wona lama policy athinta kanjani vele isimo semnotho athinta kanjani kusebenta aku improve kanjani njengoba sathi ukuthi lenye itimpo lefuthi sitibuke sisenda tinguquko kufuna siqinisekise ukuthi umnotho awuthintheki emathuba ebantu emisebenzi akathinteki. Sidabe sikhuluma dona nje letindzaba letine kokuthi ke sekune buchwepheshe losebufikile nyalo sekhulunywa ngabo artificial intelligence singemaswati kungasita kanjani nathi kokuthi sibuke kokuthi songa kanjani nasebenzisa timvu. Sidabe sikhuluma nje tindzaba letiningi sifake khona tindzaba dabo bo technology sifake ekhathi tona tindzaba temthetho nekokuthi ke kulama commitments livele litifake kuwo vele kuhamba kanjani ekutheni si implement leto timvu lesivumile kamhlaba kokuthi sitatende.
Siyabonga kakhulu make Mhlanga ngubelusile Mhlanga lo Environmental Information Officer ke Eswatini Environmental Authority ke besikhathe ke sixoxisana kanye naye kwegcina nje sotovalele sababukele ekhaya ngabe bobantu bamfla bakhulu lekto babhekekile namhla la kulomsebenzi.
Umsebenzi wanamuhla sibhekile kusilomkhulu longanga His Excellency longduna nkulu welivela kangwane utawukuta atowuvula lo msebenzi nayo ke indvuna itekuvakasha ngiyo lesithi ihost yalo msebenzi wanamuhla sibhekekile ke ukuthi tindlu kuto tindlu letimbili timphunga na kuyindlu yabayesikhulu atabakhona emalunga ayo iParliament batabe bakhona abantu labaqhamuka khona emangweni ngoba letimfele esikhuluma ngato tithinta umuntu lo le ekhaya emangweni bakhona labaqhamuka kuto tinhlangano lesithi ngama NGOs nebantu labasha njengoba sathi ukuthi bantu labatawuchuba umnotho ngibo bantu labasha. Sidabe sinetinhlelo nje letihlukahlukene bantu labaqhamuka khona emphakathini nebantu abesikole labaqhamuka khona kubo university nasetikolweni. Sidabe kulusuku lapho khona sidabe sifunza namuhla futhi sethemba ukuthi kuchubekela embili emaswati kungaba kucela nje ukuthi imvelo njengoba sathi ukuthi impilo yethu ichubeke kuyo imvelo ngaso sonke isikhathi kufanele kube netimvo lesitendako kulungisa imvelo loyonakele nekuvimbela konakala kwayo imvelo.
Sibonge kakhulu ke baba ka Eswatini Environment besikhathi sixoxisana naye make belusile wakamhlanga sisehlelweni sivukile Eswatini wena mbukeli lapho ke ekhaya uchubeke uhlale uthi nama kumabona kutse wakho.
At this point in time, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, let me invite the chairperson of the EEA board, Babe Smelane, Babe Mlungsi Smelane, Senior Counsel, to come and welcome you, Your Excellency, as we probably commence our program this morning. Ngicela simshayele intandla uMnguni as he come up front.
Honorable Minister of Tourism and Environment Affairs, Mages Melane, Regional Coordinator of the United Nations, Principal Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism and Environment Affairs, and the Undersecretary of the same ministry, the CEOs and heads of departments, the Refrigeration and Cooling Association chairperson and members, EEA management and staff, government officials, media houses that are present. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Our gathering today is not just a conference. It is a testament of our collective resolve to change the cooling industry and protect our planet. We all know that our planet is in imminent danger to climate change and the ozone layer depletion. The Swaziland Environment Authority has long recognized that the path to sustainable future requires bold action, collaboration, and unwavering commitments. So today, I am very proud to say that sustainability is just a goal for us. It's not just a goal for us, but is the very foundation of our operations and the driving force behind our innovations. Honorable Minister, in recent years, the authority has made significant strides in the country regarding this issue. EEA has worked tirelessly to ensure the introduction and adoption of global warming potential refrigerants, which are both ozone and climate-friendly cooling. To ensure competency in the refrigeration and air conditioning sector, we have sustained training programs. Those that came earlier, I'm sure they saw some videos of students that graduated. Last year, there was a graduation of students that had been trained in the cooling industry and air conditioning industry. And our survey that has been conducted by the institution, Honorable Minister, has reflected that most of the large manufacturing and processing industries that are operating in the country, they now have new technologies that are friendly to the environment, especially our cooling needs and associated energy. That is a stride that is well appreciated, and we, as EA, we hope that other industries that are producing and somehow affect the environment, they will take a leaf from the cooling and refrigeration industry, which is basically an industry that is willing to work with the environment sector in containing what is already ours. The earth is, excuse me. Oof. Sorry, Minister. I didn't kill my. Honorable Minister, our efforts as EEA are deep-rooted in the belief that the cooling industry must lead the change of combating global warming. I've personally wondered why it's called global warming, because when something is warm in Siswati, it's neither cold or hot. But it's called global warming nonetheless. Personally, I think it should be global heat. As we dive into the discussions that we are going to hold today and the presentations that are going to be made, I challenge each and every one of us to think beyond the conventional boundaries in discussing this topic. Let us come up with innovative apparatus that is going to assist in being friendly to the environment. And please remember that every degree matters. So therefore, the innovation that we are going to discuss today, it will really matter. So today, I encourage every one of us to take an action, and we appreciate, Minister, that you have taken swift action regarding plastics. So even the issue of the ozone depletion, we see how passionate you are, Honorable Minister, in seeing it addressed. So today, let us come up with an action plan that is going to shape the world or contribute in shaping the world in a better way so that future generations are able to enjoy the fruits of our deliberations today. I look forward to the insights and the collaboration that will emerge in this summit, and together, I believe that we can do it. I thank you.
Let me invite at this point Babe, His Excellency George Wachira, the UN Resident Coordinator for Eswatini, to come and give us his address. Let's welcome him with a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
A little bit. Okay. Very good. Yes, it is. Thank you very much, Mr. Program Director. Honorable Minister Jane Mukonta Similane, representing the Right Honorable Prime Minister, PSs and senior officials of government that are present, the board chair of the Eswatini Environment Authority, Mr. Similani, and members of staff of the authority, chief executives, engineers, and all esteemed stakeholders of the cooling industry, I see people with overalls, so I assume they must all be engineers. Wanting to recognize all of you, members of the media here present, ladies and gentlemen, Sanibonane Begunene. Now, I'm delighted this morning to be here on behalf of the United Nations family, who are partners with both the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini, as well as specifically the Ministry of Tourism and Environment, and also the Eswatini Environment Authority, to join you today as we launch this important summit, the 2024 Cooling Summit, which is also held on World Refrigeration Day that we celebrate today. You all would know that this day, the World Refrigeration Day, is dedicated to our refrigeration sector, to acknowledge the work of engineers and scientists who make our homes, our businesses more comfortable, while also reducing harm to the environment. So please, if you would join me in applauding all our engineers and scientists that are here today in the room for the work that they are playing in both making our lives better and also being mindful of our planet. Let me also again extend my appreciation to the Minister, Jane Mkonta Semelane, and the authority for calling us together for this important summit. Thank you also, Dr. Mafu, for your very incisive presentation. Perhaps I should call you Professor. I want to promote you on behalf of the university to Professor. Thank you so much for the presentation. That was very, very enlightening. Now, the summit today is, as you know, themed sustainable cooling without warming the planet. Mr. Semelane has said perhaps we should not be talking about cooling, we should be talking about heating. I am here in Eswatini. I represent as well the Secretary General of the United Nations, and he is very fond of using very colorful language about the situation we find ourselves in. There is one place perhaps that we associate with the extreme heat, particularly those that are believers. Where is that? Hell. So our Secretary General says we are descending into a climate hell. So I do agree that indeed it's more than warming. Our planet is heating up in a manner that within a short time will make it uninhabitable unless we take the work we need to do seriously to save ourselves and future generation. So our gathering together here then focuses on the challenge we face, but also on the opportunity we have to exercise human agency in order for us to be able to respond to the crisis that we face. The challenge is the climate crisis. The opportunity is, of course, how we deploy science of our industry to continue to refine and deploy suitable cooling solutions. And I'm glad both Mr. Semelane and Professor Mafu have already talked about the role of science and research in this particular area. Now, you would know that just last month, we commemorated the World Environment Day in May. It was reported that May was the hottest May recorded in history. So we're getting there. Those figures that you have seen here being presented, we're getting there. It's getting hotter and hotter every day. And every day we are seeing the effects of our warming planet and the rising chaos that it's leaving in its wake. We are in the SADC region, and we know as we talk today, we are dealing with a serious drought situation that has seen countries in this region declare emergencies that require over USD 5 billion to ensure mitigation, particularly in relation with food. In East Africa, where I come from, it has been the opposite. We have been having extreme rains and flooding. Thus, the climate crisis is already with us, and it's costing our lives and destroying our economies. The interesting thing is that while the urgency of the crisis is undeniable, what we have continued to see is hesitation, disputation, procrastination, blame games, about turns, while the exact opposite is needed: quick and decisive action in order to save ourselves and future generations. As I said, I represent the Secretary General in the Kingdom of Eswatini, and I like echoing his words because they are always poignant. So he told us on World Environment Day last month that what we are experiencing is a travesty of climate justice, that those least responsible for the crisis are the hardest hit. The poorest people, the most vulnerable countries, women and girls. These are the people that are suffering the worst effects of the climate crisis that we face. He also said that we, human beings, are both the danger to ourselves and the planet, but we are also, interestingly, the solution. He was making the allusion that if you go back to our history and evolution, the days of the dinosaurs, he says we all read and understand that dinosaurs were destroyed perhaps by a big bang caused by a comet. But he tells us that we, the humans of today, are the comet. We are the ones that are driving at full speed to destroy ourselves. So we have the solution. So if you allow me a second, let me talk about the opportunity that we have to exercise human agency. In many ways, what we are celebrating here today, as has been mentioned in the presentation, is a good story. It is the good story of how the cooling industry, driven by science and engineering, responded collectively and ambitiously to the crisis of the depleted ozone layer. It is a story of the 1987 Montreal Protocol, which has turned out to be a landmark multilateral environmental agreement in regulating consumption and production of man-made ozone-depleting substances, as we have heard. It is also the story of continuous learning and adaptation, leading, again, as we have heard in the presentation, to the 2016 Kigali Amendment to the Montreal Protocol, which seeks now to phase out hydrofluorocarbons, HFCs, starting with higher income countries and working down all the way to lower income countries by the end of this year. Now you would know, and this is where again science, evidence becomes important. You would know that hydrofluorocarbons had been thought to be an appropriate replacement for chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, and hydrochlorofluorocarbons, HCFCs, until, again, we went back to science, and science demonstrated that we were going the wrong way. And we have been able to correct course using science and evidence. So the role of science is important for us here, is going to continue to be important for the bigger crisis we face with regard to the climate crisis itself. So as we meet today at this summit, it's an opportunity to reflect on the lessons that can be transferred from the cooling industry and the response to the ozone layer depletion to the broader climate crisis that now threatens human existence. Again, the good story, it's a lesson about unanimity by member states and how that can lead to concerted action. It's also a lesson about the transformative power of multilateralism and active citizenship in addressing environmental challenges. It was not done by scientists alone. It was also involving communities being mobilized, being educated in terms of how we can all work together in a concerted manner to defeat ODSs. It was also a story that is very different from today's efforts to fight the climate crisis. It was a story about how countries with the ability to mobilize resources did so quickly, with urgency, and made it possible for the countries with fewer resources to access those resources to change course with regard to the cooling systems. This again is very unlike what we are experiencing today, since the Paris Agreement on climate change, where only $10 billion of the projected $100 billion to support climate action has been realized. I know last year, because I was there, we launched an ambitious USD 1.3 billion Eswatini NDC implementation plan. And I do know that Eswatini, like many other countries, have continued to struggle to raise the resources to fund that NDC program. So we need to continue. We need to continue this struggle about talking about climate justice and how those that are most responsible for the crisis we face today also bear responsibility and take the burden of moving us forward on this. And again, this is something that my Secretary General, our Secretary General, has spoken strongly about over the years in terms of how we need to have everybody shoulder responsibility for the crisis we face today. Finally, when we look at the Montreal Protocol, it is again a good story and a lesson about global agreements, that all global agreements are as good as the implementation by member states, whether these are large member states, rich member states, small member states, or poorer member states, but also citizens and other actors. And in this case, let me also applaud again the role of the private sector, particularly in the triumphs that we have recorded with regard to reforming our refrigeration systems to make them much more environmental friendly. And therefore, this will be a good juncture to congratulate the Kingdom of Eswatini. As I said, it doesn't matter how large, how small a country you are, your effort counts. So the Kingdom of Eswatini has made tremendous progress in terms of reforming its refrigeration and cooling industry, with tremendous achievements in the total elimination of chlorofluorocarbons in 2007, which was 3 years before the target that had been set for 2010. I also understand that as Eswatini, we are also in full compliance with the phase-out obligations of hydrofluorocarbons, HFCFs, to meet the 64.5% reduction by next year, which is 2025. So, Honorable Minister, as I conclude, allow me to highlight the support that the United Nations continue to provide, the collaboration that the United Nations continue to enjoy with the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini. As you will see here, we have the logos of UNDP, who are our leaders in this area. We also have United Nations Environment Program, who have also been supporting and working with government. But I also want to say that where we have reached with the climate crisis, we recognize that it's a whole of UN system challenge. So everybody within the UN family is now deeply engaged with this process of fighting climate change. It affects our food, so Food and Agriculture Organization, WFP, UNICEF with children, health, everybody is affected by the climate crisis. But I want to highlight, number one, our partnership with Italy, both the government of Eswatini and the Republic of Italy, with technical support from UNDP, are collaborating on climate change with funding of up to €7 million. And this is intended to help build environmental protection and resilience. And a notable project in this is the greening of the Riley Fitkin Memorial Hospital, which has been reducing energy demand and costs by replacing old systems with clean, renewable energy solutions. I also want to highlight another program that is also headed and led by UNDP, which is the long-term emissions development strategies, again spearheaded by your ministry, Honorable Minister, and it is developing a roadmap for a low-carbon, climate-resilient future for the Kingdom of Eswatini. So with that, I want to continue to pledge our continued partnership with the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini, with your ministry, Honorable Minister, so that we can together confront the crisis that we face and continue to celebrate victories that we gain along the way, particularly when we celebrate the achievements of the Montreal Protocol and the Kigali Amendment. You have the support of the United Nations. Thank you so much for your support. I wish you a fruitful conversation this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for the message from the UN family in Eswatini, and indeed, as we have said, representing the UN General Secretary himself, and the importance and the role that is being played by the UN agencies in Eswatini in these issues, Honourable Minister, cannot be really overemphasized, and we are happy that they have kept this partnership and they've kept the fires burning. At this point in time, Honourable Minister, I will now request the PS in the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Make Kangeziwe Mabul, uvame ukunkhumbuta sikhangeziwe. So the PS, she's just in a nutshell a dynamic woman who tends to understand literally anything and everything. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just request her kuthi ede ngoba ngiyambona uyacevuta lapho ufuna ukuthi ngicetse la ede ngembili wamshabalala ngicela simshayele entandla, very much hardworking, and we really appreciate her leadership in this ministry in driving this very difficult agenda yaka environment. Sidle siyifuqa sebusuku please.
But my task today is to just appreciate your presence here and appreciate the presence of my minister, who is actually the driver behind all the successes that are being reported here. We are trying as a ministry under her leadership to push as much as we can. So all the work that is being reported here, where we are saying the ministry has done that, the ministry is going to be doing that, it is because of the leadership that we have. Minister Siyabonga, sitawucela uqhubeke and give us the support that we need. It's definitely not a field easy to understand, but we have to try and understand. Ngihle ngibashaya psychology, the ministry, they think I understand. All I understand is money. Where you talk money, then we will understand each other. And then they think I understand their science. It's a journey, but we are willing to ride on it and glide. And it's quite an exciting field. Mine is to invite the minister. Minister, all the accolades, I'm passing them over to you. You've recognized everybody who's here in their various capacities, and I'm sure she will be reading from the speech and also acknowledging the PS.
It is a great honor for me to represent His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, at the Sustainable Cooling Summit 2024 here at Mavuso Trade Center. On behalf of His Majesty's government, I extend a warm welcome to all participants and express our profound gratitude for your commitment to address one of the most pressing challenges of our time, ensuring sustainable and efficient cooling. With me, I bring greetings from His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and also apologies for him for not being part of this gathering this morning due to other pressing national assignments. As we are all aware that there is a pressing assignment going on right now. Before I go further and read there's something that I need here. Before I go on, I just like to request the scientists, the researchers from the university, to assist us. I heard them talking about biomass before I go into the cooling without heating. That can they assist us conduct research on how to use biomass that we get from pit latrines and convert that one into energy, because there's a lot of energy that we can generate from that one. And forget about loko kutsi kuyini lokho. But let's forget about loko kutsi kuyini. But let's concentrate on the resource. That is a resource for energy. And let's convert that resource into energy. I'm saying this because I once experienced a situation where we were collecting cow dung, sikubhuce kube ngemanti, and pour it in a container, a tight container, and connect a pipe to an empty container. From that empty container, you connect a pipe to your handy gas stove. You light that handy gas stove, you cook. That technology is found at Envonjeni under Women in Development Project. So can we think about that resource that I've talked about? Ngoba all over Eswatini, we have pit latrines. Mawuya nje emakhaya, we have pit latrines. In town, we have a lot of pit latrines in town. So we can generate gas out of that. Yangininika assignment. Another aspect coming to the cooling without heating. There is another assignment that I would like us to consider. There are a lot of, there is a generation that experiences heat and they also need cooling. Bomage, mabamonopause. They experience a lot of heat. They need cooling. Asenyoba kabangela. How can you cool them in their heat? This is out of Yabagak recording. So now I can go straight to speech lengthunywe sona, otherwise these others bekuqhamuka kimi nje nami ngiphosa esivivaneni. As we gather here today under the theme Temperature Matters, Cooling Without Warming the Planet, we are reminded of the critical role that cooling plays in our daily lives, our economies, our health. Yet it is equally crucial to recognize the impact that traditional cooling technologies have on our environment, contributing significantly to greenhouse gas emissions and climate change and the depletion of the ozone layer. At the COP28, Eswatini took a bold step of endorsing the Global Cooling Pledge, joining 69 other countries. This pledge represents our commitment to reducing cooling-related emissions by 68% by 2050, significantly increasing access to sustainable cooling by 2030, and improving the global average efficiency of new air conditioning by 50%. Our pledge underscores our dedication to aligning with the targets of the Paris Agreement and the Kigali Amendment under the Montreal Protocol. I think we have learned a lot about the Paris Agreement, Kigali Amendments, and the Montreal Protocol from Mafu, is Dr. Mafu and the UN coordinator, the UNRC. Today we affirm our commitment to these ambitious goals. We are determined to integrate sustainability principles into the design, operation, and management of cooling systems across the nation. This summit is a pivotal moment for us to showcase innovations, exchange knowledge, and foster collaborations that will drive us towards a more sustainable and resilient future. Our journey towards sustainable cooling is intrinsically linked to our broader objectives of promoting energy efficiency and adopting clean energy sources. By replacing older technologies with higher energy efficiency systems, we not only reduce our environmental footprint, but also lower energy costs, benefiting both our economy and our people. Initiatives such as household refrigerator replacement programs, investments in the new heating and cooling systems, and the installation of thermal insulation foams are already making a positive impact. These efforts are crucial in ensuring access to affordable, reliable, and modern energy for all, a goal aligned with Sustainable Goal 7. Eswatini has made significant strides in reducing the use of ozone-depleting substance and transitioning to refrigerants with low global warming potential. We successfully phased out the use of chlorofluoroscent, whatever. In 2007, and have already reduced another term again by 60% in compliance with the Montreal Protocol. Our commitment to the protocol's targets is unwavering, and we have met our obligations consistently. One of the success stories in our effort to reduce ODS is the exemplary work of Palfridge, a leading refrigerator and freezer manufacturer based in Eswatini in Matsapa. Through successful public-private partnerships, Eswatini has, through Palfridge, totally phased out ODS and adopted hydrocarbon refrigerants in the manufacturing sector by 2016. These have zero ozone depletion potential, very low GWP, and are highly energy efficient. This transition not only aligns with global environmental standards, but also positions Palfridge as a leader in sustainable manufacturing practices in the region. Their innovation and commitment to sustainability have set a benchmark for other industries to follow, demonstrating that economic growth and environmental stewardship can go hand in hand. A round of applause for Palfridge, Eswatini. Program Director, in line with our commitment to sustainable development, Eswatini is in the process of developing stakeholder-centered, comprehensive, long-term, low-emission development strategy. This strategy, the environmental impact of cooling while enhancing our resilience to implementing energy efficient designs and responsible waste management. Our approach is comprehensive and forward-thinking. Whilst we advocate for innovation and efficiency, we must acknowledge the untapped potential within our midst. We need to actively encourage and support the entry of more women into refrigeration and cooling technician roles to tackle complex challenges and drive progress. I urge industry leaders to prioritize initiatives that promote inclusivity, such as mentorship programs, scholarships, and outreach efforts. Let's pave a way for a future where everyone, regardless of gender, has equal opportunities to contribute and thrive in our field. UN says, leave no one behind. So women should not be left behind. Together we can build a stronger, more resilient industry that reflects the diverse of our society as we work towards achieving our cooling pledge. Sustainable cooling is not just an environmental imperative. It also offers significant economic and social benefits. It contributes to job creation, improves food security by extending the shelf life of perishable goods, and supports public health by ensuring the safe storage and transport of medicines and vaccines. By fostering sustainable industrialization and promoting clean technologies, we enhance our national competitiveness and drive economic growth. Today's summit brings together a diverse range of stakeholders, including industry professionals, policymakers, researchers, and advocates. It provides a unique platform for networking, collaboration, and policy advocacy. By engaging with policymakers and regulatory bodies, we can develop frameworks and initiatives that support sustainable and efficient refrigeration and air conditioning practices. As part of our broader environmental sustainable efforts, Eswatini has taken a bold step to address plastic pollution, which is intrinsically linked to climate change. The imminent ban of plastic carrier bags from the 1st of December 2024 will not only help to reduce environmental degradation and protect our ecosystems, but also mitigate climate change by lowering the production and open burning of plastics, a process that emits significant greenhouse gases. By eliminating single-use plastics, we reduce our carbon footprint and support a cleaner, healthier environment, enforcing our commitment to sustainable practices and the well-being of our communities. This initiative complements our goals in the cooling sector, further advancing our national strategy to combat climate change on multiple fronts. I would like to take this moment to acknowledge and extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the exhibitors present today, particularly those from the refrigeration and cooling sector, as well as the energy efficiency sector. Your presence here is a testament to your dedication to advancing sustainable and innovative solutions that are vital to our global effort in combating climate change. Your cutting-edge technologies, products, and services not only exemplify the progress we have made in enhancing energy efficiency, but also highlight the critical role of sustainable cooling our environmental footprint. We deeply appreciate your commitment to excellence and your contributions to making this summit a platform for sharing knowledge and fostering collaborations. Thank you for being here and for your unwavering support in driving forward our collective vision for a greener and more sustainable future. As part of our unwavering commitment to environmental sustainability and climate action, I am pleased to announce that Eswatini will observe a National Day of Action to keep our national roads, streets, rivers, and indeed the whole country clean on the 26th of July 2024. On this day, we will embark on a massive cleanup campaign across the entire country. I invite every citizen, from households to communities, to join us in this critical initiative. The importance of this campaign cannot be overstated. It is a powerful step towards reducing pollution, enhancing our natural surroundings, and combating climate change. Collective action is essential. When each of us takes responsibility for our immediate environment, we contribute to a larger national effort that significantly impacts our planet's health. Let us unite in this endeavor, demonstrating our shared dedication to a cleaner, greener Eswatini. Together we can make a sustainable difference and set a precedent for future generations. Join us on the 26th July and be part of this transformative movement for our environment and climate. Ladies and gentlemen, the road ahead is challenging, but it is also filled with opportunities. By working together, sharing knowledge, and committing to sustainable practices, we can make a significant difference. Let us seize this moment to advance the adoption of environmentally friendly and energy efficient solutions, ensuring a sustainable and prosperous future for all. With these remarks, I now declare the Sustainable Cooling Summit 2024 officially open. Thank you. May God bless us all.
Everyone is buying, got the quality, no lacking. Everyone is happy.
Honorable Minister, I think that's just a token from the organizers to His Excellency, really, on this day. Sethemba ukuthi induna seyitawusi mixela kona kuye umhlonishwa ndunankulu lebe simkhanukisa kwemasi la kulomsebenzi lamhla sarubakhawula abantu abangibovele naba laba kulethile manje basele labanye ngathi baseleleni bakethene njani PS we are receive. Okay. Honorable Minister,